Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. My friend Ron loves tofu. He actually credits his weight loss about 3 years ago from switching to tofu. In fact, during that period, he lost over 60 pounds. Ron always enjoys tofu. He did not know how to cook them until he came to me about 3 years ago and asked me to show him a basic tofu template. And because of health reasons, he decided to cut down meat consumption, and he's going to use tofu as his substitute. Tofu is a very simple dish to cook in the wok, and Ron mastered it in no time at all. Pretty quickly, he started to develop many different variations and create unique recipes of his own. This dish is a special recipe that Ron has created. It matched uniquely to his taste preference. And the special thing about this tofu dish is that it utilized 2 different kinds of tofu, and I have never seen anyone cook this dish like this before. The first kind of tofu used in this dish is a firm tofu, and it's by a brand called Meyer. This tofu is available in Walmart. After I drain the fluid from the box, I take the tofu out of the box, and then I stand them on the end. I cut it all the way across, and I split them into half. I lay them down, then I'm going to cut them into cubes. I want them to be about 1/2 inch square. This is probably the best size for making the type of dish that I have in mind. The size of the tofu not only make a lot of difference in culinary standpoint, but it also makes some difference during stir frying. When they are in this 1/2 inch cube size, they stand up much better during the stir frying process. I normally use the entire package for the dish, but for this one, I'm going to only use half of the package because I'm going to use another half from a different kind of tofu. The half that I did not use, I'm going to store in the refrigerator. They have a shelf life for about 3 to 4 days. I'm going to put the one that I'm going to use for today's dish back into the box. This is a convenient way to store them. Next, I'm going to use some fried tofu that has been pre-fried. Now, this fried tofu has been around for quite a long time. And one thing I really like about this fried tofu is that it contains no preservative. Therefore, its shelf life are relatively limited, and usually on the package there is an expiration date. And normally, when you purchase this tofu, you should use it up within a week. You can find this fried tofu in most Asian grocery stores. They always together with the other tofus. A lot of people like this fried tofu because they has a relatively firm texture and make them an excellent substitute for meat. This fried tofu comes in multiple blocks. In this particular package, there are 5 blocks. I'm going to cut them to about 1/2 inch square to match the size of the firm tofu. I'm going to use half of it and save the other half for another day. This fried tofu costs a little bit more than the regular tofu, but the extra price is definitely worth it because the amount of time you save is valuable, and also it saves a lot of mess when you try to fry tofu. Ron told me that this is a go-to dish for him because he cooked this dish with frozen vegetables, and that makes it very convenient, and he can have this dish on the table from the time he walks into the kitchen in about 10 to 12 minutes. Ron told me that it is important not to thaw out the vegetable in advance. Instead, the vegetable should go directly from the freezer to the wok, and this will give much better result. For this dish, I use 6 different kinds of frozen vegetables, and you can use any frozen vegetable that you would like. But the important thing is that they should be relatively small, so they will match the size of the tofu. Okay, so let me get out of my wok and let's start to cook. I'm going to use my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok to cook this dish. As soon as the oil has been heated up, I add the frozen vegetable directly to the wok. It is essential not to thaw out the vegetable in advance because this will cause the vegetable to become soggy. And by adding the vegetable directly from the freezer, the outcome is much better. For this dish, I use 6 different kinds of frozen vegetables, starting with corn, frozen carrot, frozen green beans, frozen peas, frozen broccoli, and frozen edamame. I'm going to season the vegetable with a garlic pepper and also with a basic seasoning mix that I put together, which you can take a look at the composition in this video. And next, I'm going to also add about 1 tablespoon of chili sesame oil. Since my son really liked this dish to be spicy, I'm also going to add about 2 teaspoons of chili pepper flakes. So this formed the foundation of the dish. The next step is to add the tofu. Now the tofu are already cooked, so they don't need to be cooked very long at all. So all I have to do is to add the tofu and I warm them up to the serving temperature. But before I serve the dish, I'm going to season it a little bit further using a combination of different sauces. I'm going to start out with 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce to give the dish some sweetness. And this is followed by with 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. This will provide a savory to the tofu. I adjust my seasoning strategy every time when I cook, depending who I am cooking for, as well as what I feel like on that particular day. And most of the time, a combination of hoisin sauce and oyster sauce will achieve the flavor that I want. A lot of time, if I want the dish to be more salty, then I will add some soy sauce. I call this flavor chasing, which is an important part of my fast cooking system because it will allow me to constantly improving the dishes that I cook. I always make my flavor better each time, and I'm looking forward to this process. After I did a quick taste test, I decided I'm going to add about 3/4 tablespoon of an Panda Express orange sauce. This will give the dish an additional sweet and sour flavor, and which is something that I know my son will enjoy. With a few quick mix, the dish is ready to be served. This dish is very fast to cook, convenient, and efficient. In fact, the total cook time of this dish from the time when I walk into the kitchen to the time when I serve this dish onto a plate is only about 10 minutes. This dish is large enough for at least 2 people. In fact, I have some extra left over that I can use it for lunch the next day. I really enjoy this dish. The primary reason is because the 2 different types of tofu in the dish provide an interesting difference in texture of the tofu. I enjoy the soy tofu, but I also enjoy the fried tofu. This is what makes home cooking so special, because you will not find a recipe like this in any cookbook. Similarly, you will not find this dish in any restaurants. This combination between the soft as well as the fried tofu is a unique creation that Ron came up with. This is a great recipe to add to the tofu template as one of its variations. I post a video each day to describe my fast cooking system, and the word fast is the acronym for flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. I designed this cooking system so that you can cook every day and make home cooking as part of your daily routine. If you would like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.